interested in doing a mock draft, we're doing some mock drafts right now. So come on in and do some mock drafts. Let's go. I don't think I can make the one, but excited to be back. Or wait, what was that yesterday? Yeah, that was yesterday's. Trying to pull up today's. I don't see it. Oh, there we go. All right, I got it. All right, yo, we ready. What up, Ozai? How you doing, my guy? Honest thoughts on JJ or another wide receiver 101? I mean, it would be Cooper Kupp. For me, I mean, I would go JT though. JT's the guy that I want to go at the 101. Let me see here. See if I X out of this, then it says watch stream.
That's good now. I fixed it.
Can't have the YouTube chat.
Mm. You you good? Is Tyler frozen for everybody, or is it me? Is it just Tyler? Uh-oh. We are having some technical difficulties. Just bear with us.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Stream cut out there. Internet, some difficulties with the internet right now. I don't know how well that's gonna do because it says that the stream
Yeah.
has like reduced shit. So we're gonna see how this goes. The internet's not being very good right now. All right, so we're gonna see how this goes. But we're doing a mock draft right now. I'm going with Cooper Cup here, and we got the. So I picked the fourth spot. Usually I pick a later pick here, but I'm gonna try to draft from the fourth spot. So we're gonna see how this goes. And what's up, chat? We back at it.
So we got a couple things here. Honest, you answered that first thing by Landon.
But yeah,
AK
just wait until they.
AK wants to know how to get in the mock though. AK Nugs, did you reply to him?
No,
Okay. AK, go to the Discord. There's a link on our channel. Join the Discord and you'll be able to see the mock draft channel.
All right, so we got Stefan Diggs, and if you have any questions, just go ahead and drop them. Yeah, I mean it's not even
that thing
pulling up the
went
draft
away.
guide.
Oh, okay.
It's not pulling up the stream. I mean, I can see it. Dude, it's just buffering.
Yeah.
See if that works. No, it's doing the same thing. I'm just gonna have to.
You want to restart your internet and give it a shot in a minute or no?
What I need to just do the stream on like my own. Just do it through OBS. So it'll be way easier. I'm trying to do it this way. I just think this way it's not gonna work because even if when I go over here, like I have to click back over here to have it go back. It's a big hassle.
Yeah,
It'll just be way easier if I just run it myself on OBS.
Yeah, I mean the main reason I did this is because you have internet issues though.
The internet's been really bad lately, honestly. Too here, the internet's been horrible. Like the past day and a half has just been awful.
I mean, we could just say screw it to the mock and still do a live stream. Because I still think you're gonna have internet issues. At least you can go on Discord and do this. I don't think you're gonna have much luck. You're clearly having internet issues right now, so I don't think you're gonna probably have all kinds of drop frames and shit. We can say screw it to the stream. Just turn off the stream and we'll continue the Q&A. So go ahead and just ask questions, and that way you can pull up. You don't have to worry about it. You can pull up YouTube and shit too. You don't have to worry about displaying
that. Ozai, would I take Nick Chubb in the second? No, I wouldn't. I would not.
You can turn off your screen share.
Huh?
You can turn off your screen share. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I would not take Ozai. I would not take Nick Chubb in the second. No. The reason being is because, like, if it was late second round, I mean that's okay. Maybe it depends on who's on the board. But no, for me, it's a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, Tyler, what about Nick Chubb and Deshaun Watson not playing? That should be more work for Nick Chubb." No, I don't look at it that way. You're talking about it going from one of the better offense in the NFL with Deshaun Watson under center to arguably not. I don't want to say one of the worst because it won't be one of the worst, but an offense that's not nearly as good as it could be with him there. So for me, no, I'm not interested in Nick Chubb without Deshaun, which I don't think that Deshaun's going to be playing this year. So I'm out on that. What if Kareem Hunt gets traded? Yeah, I mean that's different, but then the whole you're just hoping that he gets traded if you're drafting him in the second round, which that's not something that I want to do. I don't want to have to I don't want to draft Nick Chubb in the second round and hope that Kareem Hunt gets traded. I mean, if Kareem Hunt does get traded, then yeah, I mean Nick Chubb has a lot of value, but I don't want to have to sit there and rely on Kareem Hunt getting traded for Nick Chubb to have that kind of value. And I'll say this about Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb's been really consistent. He finishes right around RB10 in points per game, which is fine. Like, that's really good. I just don't think that he has like league-winning top 5 potential. For a guy that I'm drafting in the second round, he needs to have that. For me, I don't see that with Nick Chubb, so I'm not interested in Nick Chubb in the second. Thoughts on Tyreek Hill? For Tyreek Hill, it's like he's a really good player. I think he's in the tier of guys like T. Higgins and that. I mean, I think that he'll be okay. I'm not like super crazy about him though. Tua, I don't think Tua is going to be that guy. For the third pick in a 12-team PPR league, would you go wide receiver first or running back? It just for me, third pick, I think that there's a top 4: JT, CMC, JJ, and Cup. So whatever one you like out of those guys, if you want to throw Derrick Henry in there, I mean, go for it. Me personally, I wouldn't throw Derrick Henry in there, but one of those guys, if you want to put in there, that's if you want to put Derrick Henry in there, that's fine. But one of those guys should be there at the third spot. If a team like the Raiders trade for Kareem Hunt, how high would you take him? Who are you saying, Kareem Hunt or Nick Chubb? So for Nick Chubb, if a team, if Kareem Hunt got traded, then Nick Chubb would be up there with like the Najee, Joe Mixon, just because the issue with Nick Chubb, if Kareem Hunt gets traded, is he still going to be the guy? Like, is he going to play on third downs? Because I could see like an instance where now Dearness Johnson's involved, and maybe Dearness Johnson's now going to play on third downs, and Nick Chubb's still not going to be the guy. So there's still question marks on top of that offense just not being very good. So yeah, he would be in there. If you're talking like, where would I take Kareem Hunt if he got traded? I mean, depends on where. Probability CMC gets hurt this year. Took him at 103. I mean, I think he's probably going to get hurt. I got like a. If he sees, here's the issue with CMC. If he sees the workload that he was seeing previously, he's probably going to get hurt. He's just not big enough to withstand a 25 touch per game workload. So he's most likely going to get hurt. But I still think that he's worth it for sure. Took ETN. I was honestly thinking about going ETN on my pick. Something about having the 101 that confuses me. I don't know. It's unlikely that JT will be the 101. Yes. Okay. All right. When people, this is what I have an issue with. When people say stuff like this, right? When they say, oh, JT's not going to be the 101. Nobody's done that since Priest Holmes did it or whatever. Number one, that's not correct. We don't look at guys and what their total points are. Now, for sure, you could say for the RB1 overall, but what you really look at is points per game, right? Now, Todd Gurley repeated as the number 1 running back in points per game 2 years in a row.
Sorry, everybody.
Back in, I think, 2017 or 2018.
I was browsing through Discord on accident. I forgot, you know what I'm saying.
So the issue, the thing with JT is that he's the focal point of his offense. He's a 23-year-old running back. He has Matt Ryan, which is an upgrade. People who think this team's gonna all of a sudden air it out. No, Matt Ryan's actually good for JT because this offense is going to be really good, solid again. On top of Matt Ryan just being completely immobile, that means that they could get him the ball. And for anybody that says, oh, well, Frank Reich came out and said that they need to reduce his touches. Listen, Jonathan Taylor's the best offensive player that this team has. Okay, they're not going to reduce his touches. Maybe that means a couple less carries. Okay, but he's going to be one of the highest, probably one of the highest touch running backs in the NFL this upcoming season. He's one of the best running backs in the NFL. Don't overthink it. The dude has had no injuries really throughout his entire career. I wouldn't overthink it. JT's the 101. What do you say about Chubb? I don't really want Chubb, to be honest with you. I'm not interested in Nick Chubb this year. The thing with Nick Chubb is for a guy that's currently going in the middle of the second round, I want a guy that has league winning upside. I just don't think he has that. So I'm not really interested in taking Nick Chubb there. I'm gonna take Chris Godwin here. Chris Godwin. See, I really don't like having an early pick. I'm not gonna lie. Should I trade Marquis Brown for Mooney? No, absolutely. For me, no. I would definitely want Marquise Brown. I think Hollywood's a very underrated football player. Being on the Cardinals, I think he's going to be really solid. So I would definitely rather have Marquise Brown over Darnell Mooney. AJ Dillon in the 5th is a reach. Someone take him in the 5th? No, I don't. I don't think it's. I would probably go wide receivers over AJ Dillon. But I mean, AJ Dillon he's a stud as well. Copper McCaffrey, full point PPR, big bonus for. I would definitely go with Cop. And full point PPR, touchdown or bonuses for 40-yard touchdowns. I would go with Cooper Kupp. Honestly, I think I'm going to move Christian McCaffrey to maybe like 4th overall in my flex. I'd rather just, for me personally, I'd rather have Cooper Kupp and Jay Jettis over him. My league does half point. Should that change how I draft wide receivers? No, I don't think half points really drastic enough from like full point PPR, that kind of stuff. So I don't think that really changes. How do you feel about Josh Jacobs this year? You think he does better with a better offense? So Josh Jacobs, in my opinion, is kind of like Nick Chubb, where he's nowhere near the player that Nick Chubb is, but he's going to be very touchdown dependent. I don't think he's going to play on 3rd downs, and you could possibly have Zamir White, who this team drafted. I mean, they did make both these guys play in the preseason game. So I think that's going to be a really good offense. Going to be one of the better offense in the league. So he could have a high touchdown total. But it just doesn't. To me, he's a RB dead zone kind of guy. Like just no receiving upside here, and you're just hoping for touchdowns, high touchdowns. Do I like Mecole Hardman? No, I don't like Mecole Hardman. And I love Juju. Juju is currently, I would take him, honestly, 5th round is where I would take him. I was really considering taking Juju over Chris Godwin. But if Chris Godwin's going to be healthy, then I'll probably take Chris Godwin. But I love Juju this year. I think he's going to have a bounce back season. Thoughts on 2nd pick in your mock? 2nd pick. Not bad. I'm not a huge fan of quarterback that early, but Herbert in the 4.11 is not bad, honestly. Reese the Beast Hall. League winner weeks 14th. I could see it. I could see Brees Hall being a league winner the weeks. Thoughts on going running back with the first 3 picks? I think that's fine. I don't have an issue on either or. If you go running backs or wide receivers early, honestly, it doesn't matter. Why didn't you like to take a tight end? Doesn't it give a good positional advantage? No, not nearly as significant as having a top end wide receiver, a top end running back. It's not that significant. Honestly, a lot of people say, well, look at, what tight end 1 Travis Kelce scores compared to, tight end 10. When you only start, really nobody's starting any more than 1 tight end. Nobody's throwing a tight end into their flex. So the positional value at the wide receiver and running back position when you could start 3 of them is just way greater compared to having, the tight end 1. I'd rather have the RB 1 than the tight end 1. So I'd much rather try to take, my top 5 position or top 5 scorers at the wide receiver position, running back position, than taking a tight end early. So that's for me. I don't really like to go tight end early unless there's a guy like for me. There's no shot. I'm taking. I'm sorry to whoever did that, but there's no shot. I'm taking Dalton Schultz at 5.12. No shot. I'm not taking Darren Waller to 4.05. No, I mean I would probably take Kyle Pitts at the 4.04, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm not really taking these guys here. All right, I'm gonna go with Darnell Mooney here. Wasn't he just there? Didn't I just see him? Oh, he's right there. Yeah, Darnell Mooney. All right. Let's see. How do you have the highest? Wait, let me see. Let me pull this up here. Garrett Wilson, Traylon Burks, Romeo Dubs, Sky Moore. It will go Traylon Burks, Sky Moore, Garrett Wilson, Romeo Dubs for redraft. How do you feel about Tommy Maddox this year? Going to be a stud. AJ Brown, another league winner, all pro year incoming. I'm coming around to AJ Brown. I mean, I love AJ Brown, the player. It's just, I don't know if the volume's really going to be there for him. Is going to be the biggest issue. Yeah, I'm really hot on AJ Brown too. He's a stud, but is in the top and tight end like 15 points per game, a wide receiver like Devontae Adams? No. No. All right, let's look at it right now. Let's look at what here. Let's put this into perspective. All right. So last year, let's see what Travis Kelce was averaging per game. Travis Kelce was averaging 16.4 points per game, tight end 2. All right. Let's see. Let's go with who finished higher. I know that Leonard Fournette did. Leonard Fournette was RB3. So Travis Kelce last year averaged, and remember, Travis Kelce was like a unanimous first rounder last year. He averaged 16.4 points per game. Let me make my pick real quick. Somebody took. I'm just gonna go with Miles Sanders here. All right, so Travis Kelce last year, 16.4 points per game. Leonard Fournette was RB3 in points per game, average 18.3, right? So nearly 2 points per game more than Travis Kelce, even though Travis Kelce was a first-round draft pick, right? So Leonard Fournette averaging over 2 points per game. Now let's go and look at, I don't know really, probably George Kittle was probably like tight end 4 or 5, I'd say. He was tight end 4. Tight end 4 at 14.1 points per game. So remember, you're drafting George Kittle. You easily goes like in the first 5 rounds. George Kittle last year was tight end 4. He was averaging 14.1 points per game. Let's go look at Mike Williams. Mike Williams averaged 15.4, so 1.4 points per game more. Mike Williams was averaging, and he was wide receiver 13. So, no, I don't think that it's a big positional value to get a tight end early. I really do think that just punting the position and getting it later and trying to hit on your Mike Williams, your Leonard Fournette, your Jamar Chase in the middle rounds, your Cooper Kupp. Now, there's not going to be guys like that every single year, but what I'm saying is you try to hit on those guys rather than waste a pick on a tight end that's going to get 14 points per week. That just because he's a little bit of an advantage here. Well, when you have Mike Williams, when you have Leonard Fournette, when you have Jamar Chase, when you have Cooper Kupp, those are guys that are way more valuable at their position compared to the tight end position. So I'd much rather have those guys over a guy like Travis Kelce or George Kittle, especially Travis Kelce in the beginning of the second round. Who would you rather have, Juju or Hollywood? For me, Hollywood. Where would you rank George Kittle and Travis Kelce? For like overall players, I'm not sure exactly. If you're interested, go check out the draft guide. Links in the bio. You changed my mind about a tight end early, but I had Waller last year, and you know how that went. So that's, yeah. It happens with every position. Are you a big believer in stacking with the right pair? For instance, Chase Burrow. So what I would use, I don't think that you necessarily need to stack. It doesn't hurt to stack, right? Especially when you're sitting there and you're like, I don't really know who I want to take here. If, have it be kind of like a tiebreaker where you're looking at these two guys and I don't really like who's on the board. I could go this player. And if it completes a stack, then just do it. I don't think that you have to go out of your way to stack for redraft. I don't think that it hurts though. If you think that obviously like the Chargers going to be a top tier offense, should be a top tier offense, then why not stack? Now, I don't think that you need to reach on Justin Herbert. I don't think that you should be taking Justin Herbert before round 5. I think Justin Herbert should be going in round 5, which he doesn't. He goes earlier. So I don't think that you need to reach on a Justin Herbert in like round 3 to complete the stack. So, let's see. What else do I have? I have the first pick and Nick Chubb as a third rounder keeper. Should I take JT? If not, who else? I have T as my 11th round. A third round. It just depends on who's there. If Nick Chubb is there in the third round, I would take him in the third. Yeah. Thoughts on Ramande Stevenson? So, a lot of people are kind of coming around to Ramande Stevenson. I'm just going to turn this off. A lot of people are kind of coming around to Ramande Stevenson. Here's the issue that I have. I don't really think that Ramande Stevenson is going to be the guy, though. Like, I don't think that. Number one, I don't think that he's going to overtake Damien Harris. I feel like Damien Harris would still kind of be involved if Ramande Stevenson is playing here. And I don't think that Ramande Stevenson would be involved on third downs. Now, I will say James White kind of opens up the path for maybe a true bell cow in New England's offense. They just have never really done that, so I don't think that that's going to change this year for Ramande Stevenson. So I'm not as big in the hype behind Ramande Stevenson as other people are, just because I don't think that he'll ever be the guy. I don't think that he'll play all three downs. I could be wrong about that, but it's never been something that Bill Belichick has done. Do you think Devontae Adams will regress big this year? I don't. Well, I have him as wide receiver 5. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a massive regression, but I do think he'll come down a little bit compared to years past. But would you take a Kelsey or Andrews in late second, early third? Depends on who's on the board. Like if Travis Kelsey was there in the third round, yeah, I would probably take him. Late second round, probably would take him. Yeah. Andrews, no, honestly, I would not. I'm not interested in Mark Andrews until honestly like fourth round. I'm really not interested in Mark Andrews this year. Hey, can you rate my team 10 half point PPR? 7.4. 7.4. Should I trade Hollywood for Terry? No, I would keep Hollywood personally. I also wanted to try trade Cooks for like Judy or Sutton. I would definitely go for Sutton. Kelsey or Tyreek Hill? I probably honestly just roll with Tyreek. Not gonna lie. I gotta adjust my overall rankings, but I probably would go with Tyreek. I probably take Tyreek over Kelsey. I probably go with T over Kelsey. Actually, nah, I'm gonna switch that. I would rather go Kelsey over those two guys. I do think that's kind of where Kelsey fits in. I feel like a late second rounder is good for Kelsey, like kind of around like pick 20, 22-ish, right around there. I think Kelsey's good there. I probably rather have Javonte Williams over Kelsey though. I'd rather have Kelsey over T. It's close though with T and Tyreek. I'm not gonna lie, it's very close with those kind of guys. So he's definitely for me like more of a late round third or late round second kind of guy. But I'd rather have Mark Andrews definitely for me. Like there's a laundry list of players that I'd rather have over Mark. I'd rather have Travis Etienne over him. I'd rather have Cam Akers over him. I'd rather have who else? Definitely AJ Brown over him. I'd probably even go with Mike Will over him, over Mark Andrews. That is. What makes you pick? Thoughts on Michael Pittman Jr.? I think that he's going to have a really solid season this year with Matt Ryan under center. What makes you put Sutton over Judy? Just because Sutton's already done it. We've seen Sutton have a 1,100 yard season with. He's had a 1,100 season with. Who was it? Drew Lock and Joe Flacco as his quarterbacks. That was his second year in the league. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. A big guy, especially in the red zone, especially with no more Tim Patrick. I mean, you're talking about a guy that has the upside of 10 plus touchdowns easy with Russell Wilson under center. And he's honestly a deep threat. He's been a really solid deep threat that gets open. He just really hasn't had a quarterback that can hit him. I drafted Jerry over. This is Jerry's third year. I'm hoping a big breakout. I mean, he could definitely break out. I could be wrong about it. I mean, I always say it all the time. My heart wants Jerry to be the guy. I just don't think he's unfortunately going to be that guy. How do you find someone like Kupp in the fourth? How could you find someone like him this year? I mean, you got to look at kind of what Kupp was walking into, where he's had previous production. He's got a big quarterback upgrade on a really good offense. So let's look at, kind of guys that are similar. Juju Smith-Schuster, top 10 production before with a quarterback upgrade in a really good situation. Juju fits that bill. Another one is Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, whatever one you like. Really, Courtland Sutton, previous production, massive quarterback upgrade, good situation in Denver, really good offense. He fits the bill. I mean, honestly, Jerry Jeudy, if he can take a step this year. Honestly, another guy is Mike Will. I mean, a lot of people don't think that Mike Will could be wide receiver 1. What if something happens to Keenan Allen? What if Keenan Allen at age 32 kind of falls off a little bit? I mean, Mike Will just got paid big bucks. Showed it last year. He was wide receiver 13 in points per game. Maybe this year he has more touchdowns, more yards. Who knows? Another guy that I would say would be Allen Robinson, honestly. Like, what if you got the second pick in a 2-team league? or in a 14-team league. I'm sorry. So second pick, honestly, for me, I think that there's 4 guys that could be the number 1 this year. I would throw in 5. I'll say Derrick Henry, kind of, although I really don't want Derrick Henry. But I think that 4 guys for sure. The 4 guys are Jay Jettis, Cooper Kupp, CMC, JT. So sitting at the 2, like think about whoever you like the most. For me, I like JT the most, and then think about the guy that you like the second the most, and then just go with whoever's there, whoever falls to there. And then on the turn, you might get like Javonte, Leonard Fournette, T Higgins, maybe. Tyreek Hill, like I would go with one of those guys in the third. Pickett all day. Pickett's gonna be a beast.
Real quick for Ozai and Angel, I don't know if you guys are. If you're in the, I know Ozai's in the Discord. Angel, I don't know if you are, but you guys will get roles along with those. And the way that you make sure you have the roles in the Discord, make sure your Discord is linked to your YouTube account. It's really simple. You just go to your channel or your integrations in your settings, and you'll see YouTube. You'll see the icon. It'll take you step by step through it.
Do I think the Ravens can win the Super Bowl? I don't think they can, but I do think the Ravens will be a really good team. I think Lamar is going to have a really good season. Keenan Allen's 32. Isn't he 32? I mean, somebody can fact check me. I'm pretty sure he's up there. Maybe he's only 30. He's only 30. I'm sorry. He's only 30. I was thinking of, I think Thielen's 32. Yeah, Thielen's 32. I was thinking of Thielen. All right. Did somebody say Super Bowl pick and MVP? So Super Bowl pick, I'm gonna say, I think it's gonna be the 2 LA teams. I think it's actually my original one was the Bills and Bucks. I'm just gonna stick with that. The Bills and Bucks. So I'm gonna go with that. And I'm gonna go with MVP is gonna be. I'm gonna say Josh Allen. MVP.
Most toes asked if Steven Sims is the next Antonio Brown.
I don't even know who Steven. I know who Steven Sims is. I think
he's number 82 for the Steelers in that preseason game. He looked like when he almost took the punt return to the house. He has the high socks like AB. He wanted to look like AB. That's really what it was.
I have the third pick in a 10-team league. Do I take CMC or Jay Jettis? Honestly, whoever you want. I don't think that there's a wrong answer. CMC is definitely the ceiling play there. I think that Justin Jefferson honestly could be the number 1 wide receiver, but it just comes down to risk averse. I can't draft Javonte until late third. Melvin scares me. I want to be that. I mean, Melvin right now has a foot injury. He's not practicing. I think it might be, but I'll double check. Kyle, I'm gonna double check. Is it worth it to draft a quarterback in the middle rounds or find one later that will be good like Trey Lance or Hurts? Definitely wait on quarterback. For me, definitely the guy that I'm taking is Trey Lance. Honestly, if you get Hurts in like the 7th round, I don't really mind that. I think that Hurts honestly could be QB1 this year. I wouldn't be shocked if Hurts is the quarterback one. Last year, I'm pretty sure for the first. Somebody can fact check me on this, but I believe it was for like the first 11 weeks of the season, maybe 10 weeks of the season. I can't remember how many weeks it was exactly. He didn't score below 20 points. Actually, let me double check. I can check it right now. Get the hell out of here. Let's see. Jalen Hurts. Let me see. Or maybe he was averaging 20 points. No. So for the first 7 weeks of the season, he didn't score below 20 points. That was the first week. 8 was the first week he scored below 20 points. He finished the season as quarterback 6 in points per game, and now he just got AJ Brown, a massive wide receiver upgrade. I mean, I really do think that Jalen Hurts could be this year's wide receiver 1. I would not be shocked. When you're drafting, what's your draft style in a 2-quarterback league? So 2-quarterback league, completely different. Quarterbacks are definitely the premium here. Honestly, it depends on how your draft is going, right? So I kind of talk about this in the draft guide, which if you're interested, go check out the draft guide. Link is in the bio. Over 20 pages of written up content, over 20 pages of player rankings. So I kind of talk about this in the draft guide. It just kind of depends on how your draft is going. Where if you're starting, if there's a big run on quarterbacks, right, and you're stuck there at the end of the first round, and you get like, let's say, Dak Prescott as your QB1. Well, then I would probably pair up Dak Prescott with like a Kirk Cousins or next best quarterback on the board, maybe Tom Brady. That way, because I don't think that those guys can be the quarterback one. I feel like they have borderline top 5 potential. I mean, if Tom Brady throws the ball that many times again, then he can be. I think that those guys are kind of like more closer to quarterback 10, in my opinion. So I'd rather have those guys than be stuck with like my QB2, have like Dak as my QB1, and then like Jameis Winston as my QB2. I don't mind that, but I'd much rather have two guys that can easily be inside the top 10. So it kind of depends on how your draft is going, but definitely two quarterbacks by round 3. I would want two of my starting quarterbacks by round 3 at the latest. Really, Jameis is kind of like the last quarterback too that I feel decent about. So honestly, I may even start my draft with two quarterbacks right off the rip, my first and second round. Way completely different. And we got Michael Ryan. Welcome to the starter. Yo, appreciate you, Michael Ryan. Thank you for being a starter. W's in chat, boys, for Michael. Appreciate you, Michael. Best running back to pick up in the let's see. I'm sorry. In the A-Man League, should Trey Lance even be drafted as QB1? Yes, Trey Lance should be a QB1. He'll finish as a QB1. Best running back to pick up in the dead zone. I'm thinking Etienne or even AJ Dillon. Yeah, I like both those guys. Even Breece Hall is another guy. Like, what's the news with Kamara? I don't think there's any news yet. He could be suspended this year. He could be suspended next year. Just comes down to kind of like risk averse for you. Do you want to take the shot on him or not? He's okay. I compare him to the Ezekiel Elliott situation. I think it was in like 2017, maybe 2018, where the Zeke thing just kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And then finally, like, they went through all the hoops that they could go through. And then Zeke got suspended. And it was honestly for like weeks 13, 14, 15, 16. It was for the fantasy football playoffs. I think it was like the week or two before the fantasy football playoffs. So most teams are fighting for a spot until the very last week, right? You miss your guy in the second round is usually where he's going now. You miss your guy Alvin Kamara in the second round. It just comes down to what you want to do. Do you want to take the shot on a guy that could possibly be out for the fantasy football playoffs, or would you rather have a guy that's at least right now guaranteed, barring injury, playing the full season? All right.
I'm doing well, by the way. Oh shit, my bad. I accidentally closed that out. Landon, appreciate you asking.
Yeah, appreciate all you guys for hanging out. Real quick, if you guys are interested, go check out the draft guide. Link is in the bio. Me and Kyle worked hard on it. I think it's really well done. And also go and get into the Discord. Link is in the bio. Over 4,000 people. I'm pretty sure we're close to 4,500 people over there. So go check that out. Would you trade Allen Lazard, Christian Kirk, or Jarvis Landry in those? Or wait, would you trust Allen Lazard, Christian Kirk, or Jarvis Landry? So for me, I don't really trust any of them. Well, I don't want to say I don't trust any of them. Christian Kirk, I do think he has the potential for a good amount of volume. So he's probably the guy that I like the most out of those guys. Allen Lazard, maybe he can be the guy for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he's going to be. But for a guy that's going that late, I don't mind throwing the dart at Allen Lazard, and hopefully he is the guy. And then with Jarvis Landry, I mean, he's just kind of like that savvy vet where I don't think he's going to do a whole lot if Michael Thomas is healthy. Now, if Michael Thomas isn't quite there and maybe he has issues with the ankle, misses some time, then I do think Jarvis Landry has some potential, especially for the later rounds. Usually I get him like, honestly, rounds 12, 13. So I would take him there, yeah. I don't mind those guys, but Christian Kirk's the guy that I would want the most. Do you think CD benefits with Amari leaving? Yes. No, I'm not worried about how it would hurt him in coverage. I think CD's that guy. I think it benefits him absolutely. Tyreek or T? I'm going T for me as well. Don't know if you already answered, but would you trade Schultz and Cooks for Sutton and Knox if your receivers were weak and strong RBs? Honestly, I'd probably just stick with Schultz and Cooks. That's close. I feel like it's a pretty even trade. I do think the guy that have in that whole trade is probably Sutton. I'd probably take the trade because I think Sutton's the guy to definitely have in that whole trade. So I would take him. Yeah, I would do that trade. Kyle, why does it sound like you're gargling a whole bag of marbles? Thoughts on Aaron Jones? Love Aaron Jones. I mean, I guess not as much as other people do because a lot of people love him a lot more. But he's my RB11. Better starting core: Higgins, DJ Moore, Etienne, or Deontay Pitts Hall. Higgins, DJ Moore, Etienne for me. I'd rather have that starting core. Personally, Michael Ryan. But I'll kind of touch on Aaron Jones. So, like, I do think that Aaron Jones has the possibility for a decent amount of receiving work in this offense. A lot of people talk up, the splits without Devontae Adams. Listen, no, that was back in 2019, 2020, 2021. That was pre AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon's here. AJ Dillon was very involved in this offense in the second half of the season. I think that he puts a cap on Aaron Jones' ceiling. I don't think that he has top 5 potential unless AJ Dillon gets hurt. So for me, I think both these guys can coexist, though. I honestly do think that both of them could be top 12 running backs in the right circumstances. So they're two guys that I really like. And for me, I'd just rather have AJ Dillon at his current cost than Aaron Jones.
Right, Tyler. And Dan Hoover tears his ACL making that comment.
On pick 9, let's see what we got here. On pick 9, in a 12-team draft, would you grab Kelsey with the 204 or stud running back? Say, for instance, you get Chase with your first pick. Who would you go second pick? I mean, if I pick 9, I think that there's a decent chance Barkley could be there. I would love to get Barkley. Otherwise, I may go with like playoff Lenny or Aaron Jones. But if you want to go with Travis Kelce there, I mean, I don't mind it. I would probably go running back though, personally. Like Saquon Barkley this year, yes, absolutely. I love Saquon. I find myself more willing to take Kelce if I'm able to grab an RB in the first half-point PPR. If I go an RB in the first, I mean, I would love to go Jamar Chase at the 109. But if I go an RB in the first, I honestly probably go with like CD. I'll probably even go another running back. But I don't think that Kelsey's bad there. I just think that I would rather take the shot on a running back than Travis Kelce, just in my opinion. Thoughts? If you had your choice of draft position in a 10-team half-point PPR, what spot are you thinking? So, Dan, in my opinion, I think in a 10-team league, I would want to have a top 4 pick. I think for me personally, maybe you could say there's a top 5, including Derrick Henry, but I think that there's a top 4 with CMC, JT, Cooper Kupp, and Jay Jettis, Justin Jefferson. I think that those are the top 4 guys. And in 10-team leagues, like your second round pick will be good enough to have a top 4 pick. So I'd rather have a top 4 pick. And personally, if I'm not able to get a top 4 pick, then I would want like pick 9. I would like pick 9. Thoughts on Dameon Pierce? I didn't really like Dameon Pierce a whole lot in the pre-draft process. I think he's, people will get mad when I say this, but I think that he's kind of like Dave Montgomery, and I think Dave Montgomery's kind of mid. I think he's very average. So I think he's kind of like a poor man's version of Dave Montgomery, which isn't very good. But I do think that there's a chance that he could maybe lead this backfield in total touches, especially maybe in the receiving game. So I mean, there is some intrigue there with Dameon Pierce, but if it was like Dameon Pierce or Rachaad White, I would 100% take Rachaad White over Dameon Pierce. R.I.P. Heinz Field, yes, R.I.P. Heinz Field. Sad day. 8-man league, top 4 pick. The tough thing about the 101 is that I want JT, but I also want a top 5 wide receiver. Well, you can't have the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe in an 8-man league, you never know who gets back to you. On pick 10 in the 10-team half-point PPR, I'm leaning towards Swift, Mixon, or Chase. Which one is best? You think? I would go with Chase. I think that Chase is an absolute stud. I've come around a lot to Jamar Chase. Like, to put this into perspective, like, let's think about Jamar Chase last year. Let me pull him up real quick. Before I talk, I want to just see Chase. Let me pull him up. All right, so Jamar Chase last year had 1,400 receiving yards and 13 touchdowns, was wide receiver 5 in points per game as a rookie, right? Couple things to know about this. He didn't even play football the year prior. Literally took the year off from football. So this was after a year off from football. He comes in and has the best rookie wide receiver season ever in the history of the NFL. And that was also on the third slowest paced offense in the NFL. They ran the third fewest plays per 60 seconds, 60 seconds. Per 60 seconds in the NFL. So the third slowest pace in offense in the NFL last year with a bad offensive line. Like, they upgrade the offensive line. They have a pretty tough schedule. So possibility of more shootout kind of games. I mean, another year in the NFL, like Jamar Chase honestly could be the wide receiver 1 next year. I won't even be surprised. The dude is, as much as I hate to admit it as a Steelers fan, the dude is a generational player at the wide receiver position. He's going to be probably the best wide receiver in the game, if not next year, in the next couple of years. So I would go Jamar Chase at the 109. Acrisure Stadium is mid as F. Yes, you're right. Kyle, are you better than Tyler at fantasy football? Kyle doesn't know shit about fantasy. Nah, it's like, no, but definitely not. He's not. He's nowhere.
I
He's
don't
nowhere
really do
near my level.
fantasy anymore, so no.
Kyle's good at RuneScape. Yeah. Streaming, go check him out. Honestly, I haven't checked out your stream yet. You said you're gonna make my stream better, Kyle. Should I start Elijah Mitchell over Josh Jacobs? No, I'd rather have Josh Jacobs over Elijah Mitchell. I'm really fading Elijah Mitchell pretty hard this year. I kind of liked Elijah Mitchell earlier in the preseason, more of the offseason, because we weren't sure what was going to happen with Debo. We weren't sure if Trey Lance was going to start. Well, now that Debo's back, now that Trey Lance is here and he's the official starter, and this team drafted Tyrion Davis-Price in the 3rd round, I'm not interested whatsoever in Elijah Mitchell. I mean, there's just so many red flags with Elijah Mitchell this year. I'm totally out. Who's the next Cooper Kupp this year? I'm thinking Jerry Jeudy. I would say Courtland Sutton. I mean, Jerry Jeudy, and I talked about this earlier, but yeah, Jerry Jeudy fits the bill. Courtland Sutton kind of fits the bill. And once again, I want to preface this by saying nobody's going to be the next Cooper Kupp. What Cooper Kupp did last year was he had the greatest wide receiver season ever in the history of the NFL, right? So I don't think that there's a next Cooper Kupp. But if there's guys that kind of fit the criteria of outperforming the ADP, being in a really good situation with a new quarterback, Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Juju Smith-Schuster, Allen Robinson are all guys that I think kind of fit that criteria. Even a guy, honestly, like Marquis Brown. Like, a lot of people will hate on Marquis Brown, but I talk about this all the time. Marquis Brown over the past 2 years has been top 5 in terms of target share. And target share, he's up there with Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson over the past 2 years. That's elite company to be in. And target share is one of the most predictive stats when projecting wide receivers in fantasy football. Now plays with his college teammate, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is one of the best deep ball passers in the NFL, one of the most accurate passers, honestly, in the NFL. Now playing with his college teammate. Like, I think that, honestly, the sky's the limit for Marquise Brown this year. I still always struggle with that. Mama, are you... No. On that name, she's Mama. Are you big on Elijah Mitchell as you were last year? No, not as big as I was last year. I mean, I loved Elijah Mitchell last year just because he was a waiver wire pickup, and I actually was touting him in the preseason, so I felt good about that. But no, nowhere near as big as I was last year in Elijah Mitchell. No. All right. I think that we're going to call it. I'm going to try tomorrow to go. I'm going to go live every single day around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to do it maybe on my own and just see how it goes. I don't know if the internet's going to be better by tomorrow. And then I can have a draft happening at the same time. We're going to see how it goes. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Also, go get in the Discord. Link is in the bio. Go check out the draft guide. Over 20 pages of written up content on top of 20 pages, over 20 pages. There's close to at least 50 pages in there of player rankings. It's all updated in real time too. So go check that out. Link is in the bio. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. You all the real MVPs. Have a great rest of your evening. Yeah, no problem. I got you tomorrow. This year. He's a sleeper for sure. All right, peace out, people. Have a great rest of your night. Have a good one. Peace.